Hello, welcome to another video from earnped.com. I'm Stevie B, happy to have you all with me today. So today I'm going to be shooting a video that I don't normally do. Let's take some big sips here. As you can see from the screen that you're looking at, I'm going to be opening some strong boxes, approximately about 700 of them. So I've got two different flavors here. I've got Classified and I've got Christmas. Why did I pick Christmas? Well, Christmas Mayhem is coming up in about 24 to 48 hours. So I will be replacing these very quickly. Also, the ring that's in the Christmas boxes is currently something I want. However, the catch-22 here is the Christmas boxes I can sell for really good markup. The Classified boxes I cannot sell. So, if we go with what is strictly the better option, it's hard to say. And this is why I'm making this video. So I'm going to get to opening boxes. And as I do, we will proceed. So, the problem is, with the event boxes, you have the chance at a good event ring. With the Classified boxes, you have a chance... Ooh, Mayhem Amp. Okay, well, we're off to a good start, and I'll get to Mayhem Amps here in a second. With the event boxes, you have a chance at event ring. With the Classified boxes, you have a chance at a ring, but not necessarily an event ring. There would not be an event ring in the regular Classified boxes. However, in the regular Classified boxes, there is a chance of a unique ring that will drop only one time. However, based off the buffs that are on the ring, which is only dropping one time, is it really that valuable? Sometimes the answer can be yes, sometimes the answer can be no. Now, here's kind of the trade-off. So with the Classified boxes, they come with the key, they're free, there's no markup paid. Whenever you open an event box, which is what I'm doing right now, you're giving up markup. You're giving up the PED that you could sell those boxes for in-game in order to open them. However, they have the possibility of a rare event ring worth a ton of money. They have Mayhem amps, which you just saw me get one right out the gate. Those Mayhem amps can have pretty ridiculously good markup and can more than help cover the cost of the value of the boxes that you're giving up. So there's kind of ups and downs to both. So that being said, which is the better option? It's hard to say. And it's hard to say because you don't really know until you've opened the boxes, until you got to the end of the run. You can make the argument that it's better to open just the Classified boxes, but then you can also make the argument that it's better to open just the event boxes. Personally, what I do is I go with the is it too painful method. So I will usually start with the event boxes because I want the chance at the super rare event ring, because I want the pills that are inside those particular boxes, because I want the Mayhem amps that are in those particular boxes that I can then sell for markup. However, if a run gets too painful, I will switch over to the Classified boxes. If it seems that I'm not getting what I want out of the boxes in the way of markup, the markup coming out of the box being worth more than the markup itself that I could get for the box, I will switch to Classified boxes. And sometimes I bounce back and forth between the two. It really just depends how the run goes. So, example, I just got a Devastim out of that one. That's always good. That's got some good markup to it and some good utility since I'm gearing up for Mayhem. Candy canes always have good utility. I don't really prefer to use them during Mayhem. However, I've got a ginormous stack of them already. So, it kind of depends. I did a run about a month ago, and I was opening event boxes, and it was just not a great run, so I switched strictly to the Classified boxes. Nutristim, 15 milligram. Those come in handy too. And somebody's at my door, so give me a second. I'll be right back, guys. Somebody came over to pick something up and then they left. So I guess they were just knocking to let me know they came by. So it really is kind of an each their own thing. Now the odds of getting an event ring, I can tell you prior to 2022, prior to whenever they redid Mayhem, which I guess would have been the end of 2021. So prior to Easter Mayhem and before 2021, the odds of getting an event ring when we had the OP, the way overpowered rings all the time in the event boxes, the odds of getting one of those was approximately 1 in 35,000. I know that pretty much for a fact. I have a friend who opened 35 boxes until he got a ring. I had a friend who opened roughly 70 boxes until he got 2 rings. Pretty much everybody I've talked to that deposited way too much money into this game, that used it to open boxes, pretty much the consensus was back then the odds of an event ring was roughly 1 in 35,000. Now, after that, we didn't have a Summer Mayhem in 2021. Then they redid the Mayhem competition and turned it into a grind fest. And for the past year or so, we really haven't had OP rings. We've had rings that were very specialized, like Christmas 2021, that gives you right hand full reload speed, 15%, even better than the Ares Perfected, and it dropped the price of the Ares Perfected through the floor. Hyperstim, very nice. So then we had Easter 2022. As you guys know, I've talked about that one extensively. I own that one. It gives you the full another Hyperstim, very nice. It gives you the full 5% critical chance that you can get from an item. One of my favorite rings, a huge game changer on a lot of levels, because by increasing that critical chance, then all of that stuff that you have that increases the critical damage output becomes even more valuable. So I think that these specialized rings are great. Not every ring needs to be massively overpowered. So I don't think every single ring needs to be massively overpowered. I think that we can have some specialized rings. I think that's good for the game. I think that's good for the economy. I think it's just all around a smart move on Mindark's part. At the same time, we need to have some amount of overpowered rings, because that is what gives the boxes the markup. That's what makes the event boxes worth opening. If every ring is specialized, if every ring is underpowered, then it kind of negates the will to open the boxes. And this is why you see certain boxes go for less than others. If the ring inside of it is super, super valuable, then obviously people are going to be more inclined to buy those boxes, because people are going to be more inclined to open those boxes. Now, that said, have I ever got an event ring out of a box? As of yet, I have not. Hopefully today is the day. I would love to get my hands on a Christmas 2022. It's a left-handed ring. It's got some really good stats on it. Full reload. Finding reload rings that are left-handed is pretty rare. There's a super rare item. And Collection Pill Augmented. Loot Collection Pill Augmented. So, Loot Collection Pill Augmented lasts for 3 days. That's what I was running at Halloween 2022. That's how I know exactly how long it took me to finish Regilite, is because I was running the instance the entire time. And it took me 71 hours and 45 minutes, and that pill lasts for 72 hours. So hopefully today is the day that I get an event ring. That would just absolutely make my day. That would be super stellar. That would be a great way to start Rare Mayhem 2022. However, I do not know what the odds are with the new rings. I don't know if they use a different number for the somewhat overpowered event rings that they are now starting to, it seems, come out with, or the mid-level rings that they're starting to come out with, I should say, versus something like the specialized rings. I know the specialized rings, like the Christmas 2021, Easter 2022, those seem to have had a much higher drop rate, meaning the odds would have been much better. Would have been more like something in 1 in like 10,000, something like that. I don't know the exact number on that one. So the other reason that I like to open these, like I said, is the Mayhem amps. Accustim, woot woot. Mayhem amps have ridiculously good markup. Now, obviously, better markup on some than on others, but it's always a pleasure to get Mayhem amps out of these boxes, because of the fact that you can sell those things for pretty good markup. Those really make or break the run when you're doing these event boxes. Whenever you're looking at, is it better to open the event box or the classified box? The event ring is the 1 in a billion unlimited item that you're hoping for. But the Mayhem amps and what pills you're able to pull out is really what makes or breaks these event box runs. It's what really decides at the end of the day, did I do better by opening the event boxes, or should I go on with the classified? Also, you notice I'm not in any like super hurry to open the boxes. I don't know why, it just seems to always work out a little bit better for me when I take my time versus when I blast through it. Now, that's not to say that I've never looted a ring. I've looted several rings over the years, just none of them really worth talking about. So in fact, I'll show you guys. So this one? Yeah. So this is collectively pretty much all the rings I've ever looted. A Hermetic Adjusted increases run speed by 8%. A Hermetic Augmented increases run speed by 20%. A Limited Hermetic, which increases run speed by 5%. And then 2 Edgelic Ring Adjusteds. This was one of the first rings I ever owned. I didn't get it out of a box. I paid for it. But these things increase regen by 30%, health by 12 points. And then I got, just last month, an Angelic Ring Modified. Increases regen by 40% and health by 16 points. This ring is super valuable whenever you're a brand new player, as are these Hermetics. These Hermetics, I believe these are left-handed? Yeah, left-handed. And I believe these ones are right-handed. So they pair really nicely together. Yep. So the problem is, like on these two up here, the markup is like literally TT plus 2, TT plus 3. When I bought back in the day when I first started 5 years ago, it was like TT plus 15 pet. And boy, did I think that was just a huge purchase. On the mod, it's more like TT plus 40 to 70, give or take. So a little bit more valuable. And then on the limited Hermetic, 112%. And then on the one that gives 5% runs, or I'm sorry, 8% run speed, the adjusted, TT plus 7 to 10. And then on the one with the full 20% run speed, TT plus about 120, 150, something like that. So I might actually put this one on auction and this one on auction later this week. In fact, I can almost guarantee you I'm going to put those two on auction later this week, because those are two great starter rings for people just starting off, for brand new players. And they would last you, I would say, probably 6 to 12 months, depending on what you were doing in game. If you were trying to be a low depot player, that would be a pretty good ring setup to get you started, working your way through Puny, Exosaur, low level Argonaut, sweating, defense skilling, all that. So I'm probably going to put those two on auction. So for 30-40 bucks, you can have a pretty good ring setup right out the gate. These other ones really aren't necessarily worth throwing on auction. I do have a plan for those later on. But those are the rings that I've gotten. I've never gotten something like an Ares out of a box. Just never has happened. Definitely not like an Ares Perfected. I bought my Ares off auction. But it's kind of a to each their own thing. Some people swear up and down that classified boxes are better. Some swear up and down that the event boxes are better. Personally, like I said, I just feel that I get more markup value, generally speaking, out of the markup boxes, out of the event boxes, even though I've never looted an event ring. Notice the pills I'm getting alone, the pills alone that I've gotten from this run have some pretty decent value to them. And then I got a Mayhem amp right off the bat. It wasn't necessarily the Mayhem amp I would have liked to have gotten, but it's a Mayhem amp nonetheless. Now there are other boxes also. There's mining strong boxes. There are beacon strong boxes. I've never opened any of those, strictly because the markup on those boxes is ridiculously high. And I just can't bring myself to open those kind of boxes. I just don't have that kind of a stomach. I've never actually owned a beacon strong box. I do have a couple of mining boxes that I pulled out of the ground mining over the years. I've sold some of them off. I think I've still got a couple sitting in my storage. But if you've ever seen the unlimited mining finders, they came from mining strong boxes. That's like the uber rare uber item in the mining strong boxes. Very, very, very low drop rate. Getting lots of AccuStems today, it seems, which is great because I'll be using those during Mayhem. So it's a teach their own thing. I know there's some YouTubers that swear by the classified boxes. The problem with the classified boxes, and I know you're not seeing me open it right now, there's no Mayhem amps in it. You get a lot of pet name tags, and you get a lot of crappy pets you just put in the bunny blender. And yes, you can get pills out of them. However, the pills you get are not necessarily the more expensive pills. So you do tend to get a lot of Neuro-A out of the classified boxes. You can usually get Neuro-A, I believe, out of the event boxes also. You just tend to get more out of the classified boxes. I go ahead whenever I'm in the web shop and I'll grab the keys. The keys come with the box. You can get the keys by themselves, or you can get the keys and the classified box. So what I always do is I always get the keys and the classified box, simply for the reason of that way I've at least got a box to go with the key, because with my luck I would get stuck with a whole bunch of keys and no boxes, which would do me no good. And like I said, if I start to have a really bad run, if I start to not like how the box opening is going, I'll switch over to the classified. If I don't like how it's still going, I'll just quit opening boxes. I can always come back later today, right? I can always come back tomorrow. There's also a lot of pills that they say, you know, no value when sold, stuff like that. So I'll go through some of those with you guys here real quick before we end the video. So I believe it's this one. Nope. Nope. Okay, so like this one right here, cannot be traded, has no value when sold, right? Neurostim X. Now notice I've got 129 of them. Value is 645 ped. That's a lot of ped. That's 5 ped a pill. Now, cannot be traded. Okay, so I can't trade them off. No value when sold. But yet worth 645 ped. Well, I'll just throw those in a refiner. And by throwing them into a refiner, it'll give me the ped value as shrapnel. And then I can convert that into universal ammo. And I can use that for hunting. Or I can just take the shrapnel and either sell the shrapnel that comes out of the refiner, or I can just TT the shrapnel. But obviously shrapnel having some small amount of markup, it would be wiser to sell the shrapnel to another player than to TT it. So there are pills like that. There's other pills like Neuro-B and C that really have no kind of demand, no kind of markup, and you really would never have a reason to use them in game, so to speak. I believe Neuro-B and C don't have that cannot be traded, no value when sold thing on them. So those you can usually just throw directly into the trade terminal itself. Also, you'll notice I'm getting a lot of skill pills. Pretty much the best way to get skill pills, generally speaking, is box opening. I don't really know what the rate for the different types of skill pills is in classified versus event, because like I said, I usually try and stick with event. Another hyperstim, cool. But I do know that a lot of skill pills drop from the boxes. It's probably, in fact, I would dare say it's the main source of pills in the game. Skill pill, ammo, Neuro Y2, and loot collection pill adjusted ×2. Very nice. I know not everybody can open boxes in every country, because some countries don't allow it. I also know that not everybody is able to deposit money to open boxes. So that's the real reason I wanted to make this video, was I want people to get to see what it's kind of like what happens as you're going through doing it. I also wanted to go over some of the reasons I'll open event boxes, even though I'm having to give up markup. Some of the reasons I'll open classified boxes, even though I don't have markup opportunities like Mayhem Amps, event rings, and certain types of pills that come out of them. If you're going with perfect game theory, I'm sure there's probably an answer which is smarter to do, which is the better option. For me personally, like I said, I start with usually the event boxes, and then if I don't like the way the run is going, if I feel I'm just giving up too much markup because of what I'm getting out of it, I'll switch over to the classified for a while, or I'll just stop the run completely. So like at this point, I've done almost 100 boxes. I've gotten one Mayhem amp. That's not great. It's not horrible. So I'll probably stop opening boxes here pretty quickly. And you know what? Just for giggles, let's open a classified, see what we get. Let's do like 5 or 6 classifieds. Ammo. 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 Neuro-Y. Neuro-X and ammo. skill pill and ammo. These are the classified boxes. Neuro-X. Ammo. Neuro-X. Ammo. Ammo. See, name tags. Yeah, not really doing it for me. Like I said, I like the event boxes better. It just kind of depends how the run's going. So I know probably not the most entertaining. I know everybody's probably got their own theory on which they like better, which they feel has better value, giving up the markup on the boxes and getting the loot out of it versus using the classified boxes and then just selling all the event boxes. Everybody has their own opinion. To each their own on this one. This is one there is really no right answer. Whichever brings you the most enjoyment and the most utility is probably the right answer. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Sip, sip, smack, smack. Y'all know the rest. Please hit the subscribe button. Every single subscriber matters because the more subs we have, the more reach YouTube will give us to find other people who play games similar to Entropia, but that are not Entropia. So the more exposure we get to those kind of people, the more people find out about Entropia, the more people sign up, the better it is for the game, for us, for MindArk, for y'all, for the community. It's just good all overall. So the subscriber count really matters, guys. So if you're not a currently subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon to be notified every single time we post new content. And hit a like button, because there's always a hater waiting to hit that dislike button every single time we post a video. The haters just never seem to go away. Accustim, woo woo. So it happens. We really appreciate every single sub that we have and every single like that we get. It does mean a lot to us. Also head over to earnped.com. When you earn, we earn. That is by far the best way you guys can help support us. We were not the first, nor are we the only place online that you can earn PED, but when you earn PED through earnped.com, it helps support us, helps us keep making content. We really, really appreciate that, guys. So I'm going to leave it there for today. I've got more content coming for you guys later this week. As of about 36 hours from now, I will be stuck in the Mayhem instance for the next 40 days. So I will be shooting some videos while I am in the Mayhem instance. However, it will probably be a lot of it about non-Mayhem topics. So be looking for that to come down the pipe pretty quick, and we will hope to finish 2022 out with a bang. There's some metaphor there that you guys will catch on to in about a week and a half. Gonna finish 2022 out with a bang. You guys will get that joke later. So, that being said, I've been Stevie B, Sip Sip, Smack Smack. Thank you all for your support, and we'll be back with more content for you later this week. Take care, guys.